Welcome back to Booked Up. Layla's filming, that's why you don't see her. But we have, on top of the interview in the library tour in the upper school, we have two special honorary guests who will be giving some book recommendations from the upper school library. These are our two librarians of the upper school. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Miss Kalina.
I'm Mr. Kiyoini.
So we have some questions for you. How long have you been at ASP?
You start.
Celebrating my 15th year at ASP, as in this position as well.
Wow. I have been here for 7 years and in a lot of different positions. So, yeah.
Have you had any other jobs other than being a librarian?
At ASP or in life?
Just in general.
I'm just starting working in libraries. This is my second year working in libraries and I'm loving it. But before that I was a teacher. So I've been an English teacher for over a decade. And now I'm transitioning into libraries.
Wow, I've been in schools all my life. I was a classroom teacher. I was a teacher for middle school, upper school, lower school, but I've been a librarian for a long time, maybe half of that, so the other half was classroom teacher. I've also done other things, but part-time, but full-time, always.
Okay. What are some books that are popular among upper school / middle schoolers, since middle schoolers can come to the upper school library?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one because there are a lot.
And it's also, you have the popular, the popular series or what's on Netflix, so everyone wants to read
So
that.
right
but
now
you
it's like
also have
Heartstopper is going
Heartstopper,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you also have very varied and diverse taste in middle school and upper school, but also within middle school. We have more, it seems that we have more great readers this year than in the past. So, but it's hard to say, pinpoint, all the popular titles are super
The big
popular.
popular titles like, I'm trying to think.
No, we're on the spot here.
Yeah, like Scythe, Neil Shusterman and things like that. Like a lot of dystopian fiction
Angie
tends to
Thomas
be
was
pretty.
big.
And yet, like you were saying, what we're finding, especially this year, but more and more recently, it's just a lot of different readers realizing that they don't have to necessarily read what everyone else is reading, they sort of find their own books, they find their own titles and their tastes and everything, which is kind of a beautiful thing.
And we also found out in middle school a lot of manga and graphic novel readers, and that's been very popular this year.
Yeah.
And reading online, different way of reading. More and more students are happy to read through with Sora or any other platform, digital books, ebooks. So that's a nice change as well.
What made you want to be a school librarian?
Ooh, you start.
Well, it's more recent for me. Like I said, I've been a teacher for a really long time, and I love working with the age group of middle school and upper school. Like I love that age group, but I don't know, I was just looking for a little bit of a change, and I've always loved books, and I forgot that another job that I had was working in publishing. So I've done the publishing, teaching English, and now libraries. It's all sort of centered around books. It just felt like the next logical step, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I came at it differently. Also a big reader, interested in trying to find a different way to approach students. I was in a classroom, but as opposed to a lot of librarians who come from the English teaching profession, I didn't teach English. I came to it through research. I love research, and this is another facet of our job, is helping reading and literature, recommending books and all, but also research, how to conduct good research, how to cite, and that's my
How to write
expertise.
a research paper.
Exactly, so that's how we came to it.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Read? No.
I don't like reading.
We both like theater and museums and things like that. Anything cultural, the arts.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah,
Culture,
yeah.
it's everything cultural. Sports-wise, when I have time, like in summer, sea kayaking or walking and hiking. But very curious, so I like everything.
Yeah.
What books do you recommend for children from 12 to 16 years old, around that middle school, upper school age?
I'll start this one.
Okay.
Anything of interest, anything. And even push yourself, even if you don't know the author, the series, or popular or not, try. The only thing, the worst that can happen is you don't like it, you return it, but you may discover, even as an adult, I do that. I discover a lot of books I would not have read because someone recommended it, or I just fell into it. So the most important thing is reading in any language, doesn't matter, English or not, it's reading, reading, reading. So for me, it was just pick a book and read.
And building off of that, this isn't answering your question, giving you specific titles, but building off of that, yeah, it's hard to say. When I was that age, I felt so strongly that once I started a book, I had to finish it. Mm. As I've gotten older, as I've gotten more, you know what? Not every book is for every person. And if it's a book that everyone is like, oh my gosh, this book is amazing, if you are giving it a good effort and you're just not feeling it, it's okay. Life is too short. Find the book that you are feeling, that you are loving, you know?
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. It's okay to DNF a book. Do not finish. It's okay.
You're right as a reader, not to read it.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some of your personal favorite books?
Ooh, I don't like these questions. Favorite actor, favorite book.
These are so hard.
Too many. And I've changed. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
That you've read recently that you really like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, recently. Oh.
Well, I'm going to say, because he is now reading one of my recent favorites. He's currently reading Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which just won recently the Women's Prize in 2020, I believe.
2020.
Yeah, the Women's Prize for Fiction, and I loved it. It's historical fiction. It's about the wife of Shakespeare, and it's not really about Shakespeare at all. It's about her experience as a mother, and yeah, it's beautiful. So.
I don't have specific titles, and too many for different reasons. I like different things for different reasons, like food. I don't have a favorite food. But because I'm in the middle of reading Hamnet, I would totally say Hamnet. I would recommend it. I mean, for so many reasons. This beautiful, strong female character, but also historical fiction, and beautifully written. And I was a teen, so we're going back, and I told you about it. Like Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite books ever. But I've read it 5 times, and 5 times I don't read it the same way. I see it differently, and because I'm a different person, I read it differently.
And I think that's awesome. This is another example. I didn't like Wuthering Heights, but that's okay. Like, that's
it
fine.
depends on your
maybe I need to reread
it. No, but it depends on your experience. Some books touch you, you connect because you're living something maybe similar or whatever.
Yeah, so. Yeah, exactly.
But that's where I stopped for titles. Too many.
Now I've got one more because Hamnet is more recent, but one of my all-time favorites is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which was made into an Alfred Hitchcock movie in the 1940s, and it's just super gothic and creepy and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I am Isabella Peterson, and this is my friend Elena, and we're here to recommend you some books from the Upper School Library. First off, I have Maximum Ride by James Patterson. This is appropriate for all middle school ages, and it's about a teenage girl named Maximum Ride and her found family, and oh yeah, they have wings and are on the run from a government conspiracy. It's a really fun time. Next up, I have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is appropriate probably for more 7th and 8th graders. It's a fantasy novel, kind of like Harry Potter, bit of Twilight, bit of Boy Meets Boy, just throw it all together, and also a dragon. It's a great time. There are some swears and a bit of a trigger warning. There is a bit of a mental breakdown later on, but yeah. Next and finally, I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. I cannot pronounce the last name, I'm very sorry. This is a personal favorite of mine, first of all, just for the very aesthetic cover. But this is about a girl who makes a deal with the devil to never die. And I can't tell you anything else, but to read one of the reviews, for someone who's damned to be unforgettable, Addie LaRue is a most delightfully unforgettable character, and her story is the most joyous evocation of unlikely immorality. Highly recommend. This is probably more appropriate for 7th and 8th graders yet again, but it's a great book. On to Elena.
And I have Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is my personal favorite John Green book. It is about this boy named Miles who moves away from his family for the first time to go to a boarding school. And there he meets Alaska, who is this enigmatic girl. This is more appropriate for 7th and 8th graders, and there is cursing in this book and a little bit of a trigger warning for death, but this is again one of my favorite books. I also have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is based on a Greek myth, and it's written fabulously. It's about Achilles and Patroclus and their love story and how they fought in the war against Troy. Also more appropriate for 7th and 8th graders. And lastly, I have The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. And this book is about Natasha, who meets Daniel, and then they fall in love. And it is fabulously written because, first there's a lot of racial representation, and this is appropriate for all of middle school. And
it's a beautiful love story. Highly recommend. All of these books are available at the Upper School Library at any time. Stop on by. We look forward to seeing you here.
Thank you for watching. It means a lot to us that you watched the whole video through this whole way because it's 11 minutes. We didn't really expect you to, but thank you if you did. This here is a short story dispenser if you were wondering. And look out for a new video to learn more about this fabulous device.
See you next time!